Good evening and welcome to the January 6th, 2025 reorganization meeting of the Voorhees Township Board of Education. It is now 7 o'clock and we will call the meeting to order. My name is Helen Haley. I'm the School Business Administrator and Board Secretary. Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, public notice of this meeting has been given by the Board Secretary in the following manner. Posting written notice on the official bulletin board at the Voorhees Township Public Schools Administrative Building on July 8th, 2024. Sending written notice to the Courier Post on July 8th, 2024. Filing written notice with the clerk of Voorhees Township on July 8th, 2024, and posting on the Voorhees Township website on July 8th, 2024. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The summary of election results from the November election are there's 3 full-year terms, and the certified results are Monica Watson, 9,288 votes, Julie Ketover, 8,807 votes, and Crystal Munyon, 7,032 votes. There was an unexpired 2-year term, and that position was awarded to Jason Bryce with votes of 9 million. Wow.
Record.
Yeah. Sorry, it's the big numbers. Yeah. Use a dollar figure. Sorry about that. 9,353 votes. Congratulations to all of you. Thank you. We will now swear in the new members.
All right, so I need Mr. Bryce, Miss Munyon, Miss Ketover, and I know Miss Watson's virtual. If we could all step up. Watson, do you have, are you available to do this as well?
Yep, I'm here.
Perfect. I will support the Constitution.
solemnly swear that to the best of my qualifications and correct office of member of the board, not disqualified as a voter pursuant to RS 19. Not disqualified due to conviction. ASA 18A:12-1.
All the duties of that office.
Perform all the duties of that office to the best of my ability.
Congratulations to you too. Oh, boy.
I will now call the roll. Mr. Bryce,
Here.
Ms. Ketover,
Here.
Mrs. Munyon,
Here.
Mr. Rosen,
Here.
Mr. Rosner,
Here.
excuse me, Mrs. Rudder,
Here.
Mrs. Stewart,
Here.
Ms. Verdi,
Here.
Mrs. Watson.
Here.
Excuse me. Okay, we'll now move on to the next item, which is the Code of Ethics for board members. Each of the board members have received an ethics form and a signature page. I believe all of you have returned that to me. If not, if you could read that and return that to me by the end of the meeting, that would be great. Thank you so much. The next item is election of board president. What we'll do is we'll open it for nominations. I'll have to write down who nominates the person and then the name of the person that's being nominated. Then we will vote to close nominations, and then we will vote in the order that we received the nomination. So first, we will start with, do we have any nominations for president?
I would like to nominate Mrs. Monica Watson.
Do we have any other nominations? Okay, I'm going to open, if everybody has board docs open, I would like to make a motion. I would like someone to make a motion to close the nominations for board president.
I'd like to make a motion to close the nominations for board president.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, voting is open. Okay, I have 8 yeses and 1 abstain. The abstention is Ms. Verdi. Now we'll move on. I'm sorry. Now we'll move on to the voting. What I will do is I will call, this is going to be a voice vote. I will call each of your names. We will be voting for Mrs. Watson as president. So the answer will be yes or no. Mr. Bryce,
Yes.
Ms. Ketover,
Yes.
Mrs. Munyon,
Yes.
Mr. Rosen,
Yes.
Mr. Rosner,
Yes.
Mrs. Rudder,
Yes.
Mrs. Stewart,
Yes.
Ms. Verdi,
No.
Mrs. Watson.
Yes.
The motion carries with 8 yeses, 1 no. We will now move on to nominations for vice president.
I nominate Julie Ketover.
Okay,
I'd like to nominate myself for vice president.
okay. Let me just write down who's doing that. Do we have any other nominations? Okay, we will vote to close the nominations. Can I get a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to close the nominations for vice president.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Online voting is open. Mrs. Watson, do you want me to enter your vote?
Yes, please.
Okay, the answer is yes, okay. The motion unanimously passes, so it's now closed. We will vote in the order, oh, sorry, I have to save this. We will vote in the order that the nomination was made. So we'll first be voting for Mrs. Ketover, and the answer will be yes or no. Mr. Bryce,
Yes.
Ms. Ketover,
Yes.
Mrs. Munyon,
Yes.
Mr. Rosen,
No.
Mr. Rosner,
Yes.
Mrs. Rudder,
Yes.
Mrs. Stewart,
Yes.
Ms. Verdi,
No.
Mrs. Watson.
Yes.
Ms. Kedover has won that vote, 7-2. So Ms. Kedover is now the vice president. Since Mrs. Watson is remote, Ms. Kedover will run the meeting. So if you want to move over here,
Okay.
or if you'd rather do it from there, do you think you'd rather do it from there?
Yeah, that's,
Okay.
as
That's
long as
okay,
that's
right?
okay with everybody.
And Mr. Morlock and I are here to help if you have any questions. Oh, yes, okay. You want to take? Okay.
Okay, so moving to the next agenda item, audience participation. Anyone wishing to address the board, please approach the side table on the right and write your name and address on the login sheet. While the board is limited in its ability to respond to the public on matters involving personnel, litigation, negotiations, and attorney-client privilege, the board will now hear comments from the public relating to items on the agenda for this board meeting. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. The board will not take action this evening. You will be notified at some later time by letter, electronic mail, telephone, or in the context of a later board meeting or of any action the board does take. Okay, seeing no comments from the audience, moving to board member comments. Are there any board comments? Okay. We do not have executive session tonight. We do not have executive session. So we are next moving to awarding contracts for professional services. So can I get a motion to approve all items awarding contracts for professional services in line item 13, including 13.1, 13.2, 13.3, and 13.4?
So moved.
Second.
Was that? Ms.
That was me.
Oh,
Better.
Okay, thank you. Online voting is open. The motion unanimously passes.
Board secretary report.
There's no report for tonight, thank you.
Okay, sorry, thank you.
That's
Moving
okay.
right along. I'm new at this, as you
No,
can tell.
that's okay, that's fine.
Moving to number 20. Motion to approve. Can I get a motion to approve all items awarding sorry, hang on. Can I get a motion to approve the progress payments shown below in the executive content for 20.1?
So moved.
Second, Rosner.
Online voting is open. The motion unanimously passes.
Okay, there are no items under finance. Moving to public comment. Anyone wishing to address the board, please approach the side table on the right and write your name and address on the login sheet. While the board is limited in its ability to respond to the public on matters involving personnel, litigation, negotiations, and attorney-client privilege, the board will now hear comments from the public relating to items on the agenda for this board meeting. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. The board will not take action this evening. You will be notified at some later time by letter, electronic mail, telephone, or in the context of a later board meeting of any action the board does take. Seeing no audience comments, are there any board member comments?
Just make a quick one. Just to congratulate Ms. Munyon, Ms. Kedover, Ms. Watson, and Mr. Bryce on winning your seats, and looking forward to working with you again this year and working with you the first time, Ms. Munyon. That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other board comments? Okay, this might be the shortest board meeting ever in the history of board meetings. Our next meeting will be January 22nd, 2025 at 7 PM. It will be a regular meeting in this building, the administrative building. Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion unanimously passes.
Wow.